I'm starstruck.
This is Margot Robbie. She plays Barbie.
This
is my Ken.
Like, I can't believe it. This is the perfect casting I've ever seen in my life. Are you kidding me? You are Barbie and Ken.
We're happy to accommodate.
It's perfect and amazing. Margot, you've played characters that existed before, like Harley's existed. You know, we've played real people, Sharon Tate, but Barbie's like a mythical character. Did you approach it similarly? Did it feel like the same kind of, you had to approach it in a certain way, or was it like freedom?
It was very clear. I mean, Greta said right from one of our first conversations, she was like, I think Barbie goes on the classic hero journey, kind of like the Buddha's journey to enlightenment is the journey that Barbie should go on.
Naturally.
Which, is it like when you know Greta, you're like, of course that's what Greta's take on Barbie would be. But anyone else would never say that in a million years. And as soon as she said it, I was like, wow, it's weird. I was reading Hero with 1,000 Faces, 100 Faces, 1,000, you know that book?
It was a lot.
James
a
Campbell.
lot of faces.
Anyways, it's all
Hero
about.
with a lot of faces.
Yeah. It's a book that has a lot to do with the hero's journey, and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, she started there, and I realized, like, oh, I haven't really done this before. I haven't played the lead character that many times, and when I have, it hasn't necessarily been the classic hero journey before. So as far as like the approach as an actor, I did the things I normally do when I prep for a character, but because it was this classic hero's journey that I hadn't really done before, it ended up being a lot of conversations with Greta about life and happiness and what it means to be alive, and just big existential questions, and I didn't see that coming.
No, and it worked so well. And Ryan, you've played some funny characters before, but I think it's safe to say this is the goofiest you've gotten to be. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like, did that come across silly? That's so weird.
Wow, did it work well for me. But it's also silly with like this there's this whole feminist story, and I feel like that as an actor has to be something that really appeals to you. Like, I get to be fun, but also sending a really good message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, I mean, Greta and Margot are really, they're brilliant, and this whole piece is so brilliant because it's so fun, and it's so inclusive, and it's so just a fun ride if you want to go on it. But there's so much more to it, it's like one of those magic eyes pictures, like if you cross your eyes a little bit, you see the boat that's hiding in there or whatever, but if you want to just have it be, some psychedelic fun piece of pop art, it can just be that as well,
Yeah, it's totally...
And Greta's work is so much about breaking the line between drama and comedy.
So it works perfectly.
But no, you're making the perfect point. Like, no one has seen you like this before. Like, it's so...
Nobody asked for it.
It's so funny.
The thing we didn't know we needed.
I don't think you're appreciated enough as the comedic actor that you are. Like, everyone thinks of you, I think, as like such a good dramatic actor, and then they're like, oh yeah, he is funny. He was funny in that movie, and then this is like a whole different level of...
The Ken and me can't stand for this to be about Ken anymore. We're here to talk about Barbie.
I do. Before I go, I want to show you this picture of me as a kid.
Oh,
and so seeing you in the Barbie car, were you like a Barbie kid? Did you? Like,
was it cold? Where was that?
New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Can I steal that and Photoshop my kid face onto it?
Those are all my kid pictures too. It's just like a little face in a snowsuit.
Really? Oh yeah.
It's so...
No, I I called my mum before this press tour, and I was like, are there any pictures of me, like, with Barbies, playing with Barbies, opening a Barbie on Christmas or anything? And she was like, ew, I couldn't get you to wear a dress. And I was like, that's not helpful. So I don't have a photo like that, but I love how many people have shown me things like that. It's
and now you
incredible.
do. You have your adult photos.
Oh yeah, I've got it printed on celluloid forever. Yeah.
This is my favorite movie of the year so far.
Oh,
I loved it. You're so good at capturing the girl experience, and I think with Barbie, like it can go either way. There's positives and negatives, and I love how well you handled that. And what was most important for you when telling that story?
Well, I think it's just that is sort of stepping into this sort of thorniness and the complications of it, and not kind of wallpapering over anything that felt yucky. That we wanted to create the story out of what felt like things that you couldn't say. We wanted to say it and see where that led us. And I think that was kind of at the heart of it. And then also just like, how do you capture the joy and the excitement of being like a little girl looking at that stuff and just like loving it, and the hair and the sparkles and all the things, and it's like there's a real sense memory of that. And then also being able to look at it as a grown woman and being like, I see it all differently now. And being able to honor both of them, that was kind of a trick of the movie.
Yeah. I think everyone's going to have a moment of like, whoa. The moment that transported me was totally Yo-Yo Nikki in the credits.
Oh, yeah.
And my first...
Oh, wow.
I know. I was like, whoa. And that... My first instinct was, I gotta go to eBay. And then I thought, what would Greta do? Because there's the consumerism versus the nostalgia.
Yes.
And so, and I was curious of what your thought would that be of that?
Oh, well, it's interesting because I've actually talked to some people today who are collectors, who are like, I have all the dolls and everything. And I actually, as an adult, am not a collector. And I feel like whatever gives you the most joy.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like getting totally Yo-Yo Nikki, if that is gonna make you so happy, do it.
I love it.
Like,
It will.
I feel like I think that would be my answer.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's so I'm from Comicbook.com, and there's one joke in the movie that I won't say out loud because I don't want to spoil it.
Yes.
But it was definitely my favorite joke because you're kind of antagonizing some of the meanest people on the internet.
I didn't even really realize that. Because I don't have a dog in this fight, I didn't even really know. I mean, I knew it was a thing. I don't know the contours of all the ins and outs.
Okay.
But it's like the kind of thing that I vaguely know, but I think that was the thing, that it was sort of like if she had a vague knowledge of, and then all of a sudden in a certain state, it really meant a lot to her, and then it went away.
I love that. You talked about collectibles, so I wanted to show you these pictures of me as a kid with my collectibles.
Oh my God.
My favorite being the Henry Higgins Barbie.
Oh my God,
and
look
Star
at
Trek.
you.
And interesting, like, there's a lot of pop culture Barbies, but I think that would have muddled the waters, so you didn't use them a lot.
I was gonna say though, this is the best kind of Barbie, the Barbie that has the curved box.
Yes, I was wanting to play with those.
Yeah, well, because they have the biggest dresses and the biggest hair.
I'm curious though, was there any discussion of putting any of those kind of pop culture-y ones? Yeah.
No, I definitely looked at a lot of, not just there were the pop culture versions, and then there was also just like other toys that Mattel has, like, because they have a bunch of different toys. They have like, Hot Wheels, and they have Barney, and they have like all these different things. But it ultimately felt like we wanted to stay within the realm of like the things that are only self-referential to Barbie, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think that was the right call. Absolutely.
Except for Proust Barbie.
You got to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Well, I loved the movie.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for talking to me today. I love the movie so much. I have to tell you, when they first revealed who everyone was playing, I had this moment of, but I wanted America Barbie. But then in the movie, you're like the heart of this movie, and you get to wear a lot of cool costumes. So it worked out. But did you have that FOMO at all?
No.
You didn't want to do that?
No. Gloria was the part that I would have picked, and I'm glad that's the part Greta wanted me for. And I did get to wear fun Barbie outfits without spoiling it, so yeah.
There was a lot of fun stuff. And, Greta is so good at capturing these mother-daughter relationships, like all of her films. And I know, you're a mom, and it's such a beautiful part of this movie. And how was that for you? Did it hit close to home?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I feel like as much as it was a story about like a mother and a daughter, it also to me felt like a story about like women in their adolescence and women grown up, and like what we're allowed to hold on to and what we're allowed to be and what we're allowed to claim. And can we be all the things we want to be? Can I be enthusiastic and full of joy and play and imagination and be taken seriously as a professional? And the relationship between Sasha and Gloria, I think is about us connecting to our own childhood and our own adolescence.
You have this beautiful speech in the movie, and I found myself, I got really emotional because on one hand it's like all women are going to relate to this, but I also got transported back to being 15 and seeing Sisterhood in theaters, and like I really related to Carmen as a kid, and I'm like, wow, America's been really hitting me in the feels for most of my life, it feels like. And I'm curious if when you take on a role like these roles, does that occur to you like, wow, I'm about to be a whole role model?
Yes, that is, I wake up and I'm like, how do
my time.
be a whole role model today. No, I did not. I think, no, I think that what I get excited about is getting to explore like a truth, right? And when I read the script and read that part of it, it felt so true. It's like, and it needed to be said, right? It's like it hits you in the guts, and like what a joy to get to be the one who says it. But also, it just feels important for us to hear it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think everyone's gonna have a moment where your character has this moment, and I had a moment where it's like, that thing! For me, it was totally Yo-Yo Nikki in the credits. And was there anything, like, for you personally that transported you to a childhood when you made this movie?
What I remember is walking in the first day of filming, and it was like the first shot, and it was Margot waking up in bed on her perfect day in her heart bed. And I like looked at the screen, and I just started to cry. It was just like, I can't believe that it's this beautiful and that it's this thoughtful and meaningful, and like, we get this movie about a woman icon for women, and it's like the movie she deserves, right? It's the movie we deserve, right? And there's positives and negatives to her, and there is room for all of it in the movie, but like, that we didn't just get like, some, low budget, glossy, couple of bad, outdated jokes thing, right? That moms would have taken their kids to see anyway. Do you know, like,
Absolutely.
the fact that this is the version we got, where there are layers and layers and layers of artistry, and it's like, of course we deserve movies like this. Of course our stories and the things we love and value deserve to be treated like this, and I'm just so grateful for Margot and for Greta for being the ones to like shepherd it.
It's my favorite movie of the year so far. So thank you for making it.
Oh, I'm so glad.
This is like the most perfectly cast movie. I'm like, yep. Those are the right roles for you guys. And I want to start with Weird Barbie because there's just a relatability there. I mean, you inspired me so much. I mean, I'm wearing Birks today.
Nice. Sweet.
I see you.
Yeah. When you take a role like that, do you think of that like, oh, I'm about to inspire some people, or no, I just want to do splits? Like, what is exciting for you about this role?
Well, what was first exciting was like, I don't have to do that much. Like, I don't have to stretch. It was not a stretch. It was sort of like, oh, this I can do, because that's like, it's just like what I would say naturally and how I would act. And then what was I thinking about inspiring people? No, but I always like, if it gives some young people a sense of like being able to just like be themselves, then yes, thank God.
Good. Issa, I have a similar question because you were in my two favorite movies of the year, Barbie and Spider-Verse.
Oh.
And I feel like this Halloween you are going to be seeing so many Jessica Drews and so many Barbie presidents. Have you thought about that? Just like all the cute kids that are going to be...
I haven't, but I'm thinking about it now, and I love it. And I'm going to gently coax my nephews and niece to follow suit.
You
Just
see
so I
the
can see it.
pictures.
Yes,
The internet's going to be adorable
absolutely.
this year. And like, you have a really unique role in this film, unlike anyone else. But it's cool because you get to hang with the ladies.
Yeah.
And what was your big takeaway? What was your favorite thing about doing this, being Alan?
I love that. I love to get to be a part of the uprising. I'm honored that Alan is included in that, and he's just really happy to be there and get rid of all these horses and leather couches.
Yes, no, I agree. For me, I think everyone's gonna have a moment where they see something and it's gonna flash them back to their childhood. For me, it was seeing totally Yo-Yo Nikki in the credits. I had that and I forgot.
Wow.
I know. Did any of you have? I don't know if you were a Barbie person, but did any of you have like a moment where it's like, whoa, that's my childhood?
Okay, well, Skipper that was my first, like, I was looking for Skipper on set, but there were so many, the music video of Barbie, the video on her back, like, that was something that I remember seeing and not wanting in particular, but just, satisfied that it existed.
That was discontinued, I think.
Immediately got it. I see why. Yeah.
And finally, I love to think about, there's so much went into this movie. It looks so cool. Is there for any of you, an unsung hero? Someone that worked in this movie that you haven't gotten to talk about that you want to shout out?
So many.
So many. Everyone who worked in the production, like all artists, true like sculptors, artists, like designers, just like this movie is a canvas for like the art of so many incredible people, and like just getting to wear and walk around their art was like, oh my God, this is the greatest. I don't want to go home.
That's how I felt watching it. Give me 10 more hours. Well, thank you all so much. I cannot stress enough how I can't wait for the world to see this movie.